Greetings. My name is Mike Serazio, and I'm an associate professor in the Department of Communication here at Boston College. Most of my work, whether it's writing books or teaching classes, has to do with the media. Everything from journalism to political communication to advertising to pop culture. I guess you could say I'm interested in how we are fish swimming inside of that fishbowl, how the media conditions our thinking, shapes our ideas and values, and defines the parameters of our potential as full people. And I'm hopeful, probably like every professor on campus here, that I might be able to contribute to some small cannonball experience for my students. Now, St. Ignatius's cannonball encounter was an excruciating physical jolt that vaulted him on his spiritual journey. I certainly wish my students nothing but excellent health, and I even badger them about not letting my course be the reason they're not getting enough sleep at night. So I don't want them getting clobbered by a literal cannonball. But Ignatius's cannonball experience was, above all, transformative. And that's, of course, the ambition here. Again, specific to my role, I see the media as, regrettably, this fishbowl environment in which we swim. And I hope to wake students up to it, to force them to reflect on its power in their lives and in our world. A reflection that is not just abstracted and intellectual, but just as much personal, moral, spiritual, and so on. And heck, maybe physical too. I've been too often terrified by our students wandering near traffic with their heads buried in a smartphone screen, inviting cannonball-like catastrophe. A few years ago, I started teaching a new course that, for me at least, maps most closely onto the ideals of Jesuit formative education. It's called AntiSocial media, and it's a discussion section meant to get students to reflect on social, emotional, and psychological consequences of new technology in their lives. The media that we surround ourselves with can make it too easy to live life on autopilot rather than authentically experienced. And this course was meant as a modest cannonball corrective to those patterns. We've seen in particular social media spread and seep into every crevice of our lives, with its inexhaustible appetite to colonize our time and attention. We've also seen a correlation in a dramatic and disheartening uptick of anxiety and mental health struggles among young people. Is this the world that they want? Are those the habits that they want? I like to say on the first day of AntiSocial media that I have nothing to teach them, and they have everything to learn from themselves. We begin each class with a kind of quasi-examen, adapted especially to the specifics of technological experience. I try to help guide them through this 10 minutes or so of meditative focus. And here I'm very much borrowing from the training in meditation that I received as an undergraduate from my Jesuit mentor while studying abroad my junior year at Sophia University in Tokyo. Part of the goal is to give students a space, a brief respite away from the world, from the noise of notifications on their phone, from the tsunami of information overload that ever threatens to engulf them, so that they can take stock of themselves and maybe reorient their direction just a bit upon re-entry. The practice of the examen is a practice of retreat into one's own soul to figure out how to calibrate the inner in relationship to the outer. That is, I suppose, what formative Jesuit education is committed to as a broad project. For me, the genius of its pedagogy, and maybe what's helped it endure and thrive for 500 years, is that adaptability. It's not doctrinaire. It's not pre-formulated. It observes the situation that it finds itself in and tries to meet the need of the moment and the people that it encounters where they are. Where do our students find themselves? And how can we give them the tools of reflection, judgment, and ambition? From my little corner of the world, this is where I encounter that challenge and opportunity with our young people. And I can't imagine a greater blessing than being able to accompany them in that process of self-discovery.